I know we'll take out those parts at the beginning and the end.
Good.
All right, so can I go ahead and ask your name and title?
Yeah, I'm Doug McGinnis. I work for Exelon, the power company for Philadelphia, Chicago, and Baltimore. I am the senior manager of real-time network communications, telecommunications. Basically, my roles have been developing a strategy around smart grid communications, the various tiers of communication technologies used to get the data from the field back into the core of the network for processing by SCADA systems or MDM systems or whatever. So I'm all about that telecommunications interface between the endpoint device and the head-end environment. So basically, we've been at this for about 5 years, developing a communications architecture and strategy, and under the investment grant, deploying a lot of that technology. So we have firsthand experience in what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an SGIP member?
We've been Exelon has been a member since the very beginning, since the very founding of SGIP under NIST, and we're also one of the founding members going into SGIP 2.0. Mm-hmm. So we've been around for quite a while.
And how has membership with SGIP benefited the work that you do?
Well, I think that the way to look at this is really how has SGIP benefited the industry. I think coming up with a common set of standards and interoperable practices is going to have a long-term benefit for the industry. What we've deployed thus far, it is done. So we already have infrastructure in place that doesn't necessarily represent interoperability. And I look at it from a tiered perspective. The further out you get in the tiered architecture, the less mature the product sets are, and therefore the less interoperable they are. So what I'm hoping to see is a shift in that paradigm to work on getting all those tiers to the same level of interoperability. And I think that's where we have to go as an industry. And I think being a part of SGIP is going to drive that and be able to get you to the point where you do have that level of interoperability moving forward for the future.
Mm-hmm. And speaking about interoperability for the future of the industry, what are some key points that SGI can provide benefits?
Well, I think SGIP can accelerate the development of those interoperable standards and provide a framework for where you have a coalition of stakeholders that will drive the individual vendors to that level of interoperability. Because unless you have a unified voice, preaching to the vendors that we need to have this level of interoperability, you're not going to get it. Because the vendors, it's probably to the vendors' advantage to not be interoperable, to maintain their proprietary landscape, because it keeps everybody else out of their business. But it's not in the best interest of the industry in total.
And are there specific benefits to utilities for bringing everybody to the table?
I think so. I mean, and that's one of the reasons I'm as heavily involved in it as I am. I think when you have forums like this to bring us together and to have the conversations, and maybe it's just the hallway conversations as much as anything, about how we work with the vendors to drive that level of interoperability. I think that's meaningful, and I think it's going to get us there quicker than the individual. I think over time, if without this framework, you would probably get there, but it would take a lot longer. That would be maybe a 10 or 15-year evolution versus a 5-year evolution. So this is an evolutionary process. It's not going to happen overnight.
Great, thank you.
Very good.